All right, well, it's time to have some fun today rather than, basically bitching about something. And as you can see, we're going to get ready and we'll have a special introduction for this.
Super Mario Brothers 3! To your station!
Oh, yeah, nothing like the Wizard from
Yes,
1989.
the wizard.
So it's Gray Fox 37.
Toasty.
And today, we're going to review issue 13 of Nintendo Power, which is their very first of 4 strategy guides. This one, of course, is, as we got introduced, Super Mario Brothers 3. I actually had a physical copy of this that my mom got for me after she got this for my birthday. And what was funny was my grandparents also got me Mario 3 for my birthday as well. So the cool thing was that with the extra cartridge, we actually gave it to a friend of mine that lived across the street when I was living in Tennessee at the time who didn't have it. Thrilled as could be. This is my favorite. Next to Super Mario World, this, excuse me, I just ate. This is my favorite platforming Super Mario next to Super Mario World. My favorite Mario, of course, is Mario RPG. That's just a hands down classic there. But this game, like, defined platforming, just completely defined platforming for, just everything you're looking for. Power-ups, power-ups, level design, classic villains, things of that nature. So it's just the best. It's just the best of the best for the Nintendo. Those cinnamon sugar pretzels were good, by the way. Yeah, I had some of those. So this will probably be just a quick, quick look through. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and screen through, and I'll make some comments here or there. So without further ado, here we go. I love the the artwork in this is so awesome. Just really really good artwork for the Koopa kids, for Mario and whatnot. Just great. So you can see it here. You got the princess tied up to the airship, little airship, whatchamacall, hydraulic system there. And just love how all the Koopa kids are like doing a bunch of bad stuff. Like you got Ludwig there just shooting a cannon. Love it. And then here's the table of contents. So this is a really thorough strategy guide, I'll tell you that. So what they would do is they'll teach you the basic moves here, like how to walk, accelerate, jump, things like that. It's just so cool that they would just go into like simplicity here and be able to show you, if you've never played a Mario game, how to play a Mario game. Mario's power-ups were so badass in this game. The leaf, of course, turning you into Raccoon Mario. Flying added just such another nice dimension to the game style, to where it's like, oh yeah, we're not playing like on a straight, just a straightaway left to right. You can even go up and down now. No kidding. And you can even swim or go to the surface all in one level rather than dividing it up. Gotta love the advancements of the NES. But yeah, you had the suits like Frog Mario, Tanuki Mario, Hammer Mario. Tanuki Mario was really cool because of being able to turn to a statue, and you could actually use that to stomp on enemies like piranha plants and spinies and stuff like that. There's a much cooler tool, of course, to use that sadly only shows up in one level, but I still loved doing that with the Tanuki suit. Plus, it just looked adorable. My mom loved it a lot too. Frog Mario was really cool to swim underwater, and you could swim against pipe currents too. So in World 6, there was like a pipe current thing that you would go up into and get some one-ups from a big block and whatnot, for example. Hammer Mario, being able to wear the Hammer Brothers suit was awesome. Being able to toss hammers finally, because the Hammer Brothers in the first game pissed the hell out of me, and you probably guys already know that. But being able to just throw hammers right back at your enemies and kill enemies like Boo Diddlies, for example, and Thwomps was really awesome. Another thing that was cool was that if you would duck, the Hammer Brothers shell, when you would duck, is fireproof. So basically, if like a fire spitting piranha, or if one of those fire napper plants at the end of one of the levels in World 7 would spit fire, you could block that with the shell. So I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
They got things like your Starman and things like that. There was a lot of map items because like every world had a map that you would go to get to every level. So basically, if like you see my strategy guide, like I know a lot of you who watch this or probably played Mario 3, but I'm just kind of speaking like some people maybe haven't, or but you basically have your like the world. You'd have world items that you could use, the P-Wing, Starman, things of that nature. So really, really cool there. And then your classic one-ups. The advanced moves are really nifty because, like, I remember you're able to slide under things. It came in handy, especially in the ice world. Get a running start, duck, zip right on under, jump around corners, jump and squat. You could even fly and squat too, as you can see in this little map here.
Funny.
Yeah. Then if you run across a bunch of gaps, like you could even run across these like bigger gaps here. So taking a running start and then just going across, you could basically clear all of that, which was really cool. Then you have free fall jumping. Koopas could clear blocks. In the first game, you couldn't hold Koopa shells. In this one, you can and move them around to clear blocks and obstacles and enemies. Really cool there. They even go as far here as to giving you the one-up techniques. So that's awesome. So in my World 1-2 strategy, you'll see me stomping Goombas, just like in this. You can also do it with dry bones. If you in World 2, the first desert fortress, you can basically stomp and use the raccoon tail to pretty much perpetually keep jumping in the air. You could even do it with vines and rotating platforms, as they show here. And then they have some simpler gold coin collecting for one-ups too. Sorry, I'm like just out of my mind right now. The oscillating Koopa technique was always great because if you found a level where you could bring a Koopa shell and then you can make enemies reoccur, you can pretty much gather one-ups because the shell's going to go back and forth and knock enemies 100, 200, 400, 800, and then, eventually it's like do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So there you go. All of Mario's foes, so it's so cool that they put all the enemies in the game. This is the little treat I was talking about, Karibo's Goomba from World 5-3. It's so cool. So you knock a Goomba out of this shoe here, and you can ride it, and you can stomp on Spinies, the spiky-haired shells. You can stomp on piranha plants, something I always wanted to do from the first game. Yeah, which is something you couldn't do. And it was just so much fun. Sad thing is, it's only one level. So I was hoping. I mean, it's not something you want to put in every level because I get it. It does make the game relatively easier, but and you might get sick of it. But it was a drag that was only for one level. It would have been great if they put in a few more.
Maybe like one level per world or something.
That actually wouldn't have been that bad of an idea there, Pikachu. That's good thinking. The Hammer Brothers expanded out to like the Boomerang Brothers, the Fire Brothers, which are rare too. You only see them in World 2 and then also in World 8. So they didn't make too much of an appearance. But the Boomerang Brothers and Hammer Brothers made quite a few appearances. Sledge Brothers, you would find them in World 4 and World 8. World 4 was Giant World. Or as they call it, Big Island, of course. And then World 8 is Castle of Koopa. So this is a little screenshot from Castle of Koopa here. So Sledge Brothers were basically Hammer Brothers double the size. So they were pretty much, you want to say, fat fucks. Chain Chomp actually became a weapon that Bowser used in Super Mario RPG, swing it around the air and then toss it at an enemy. They added a Fire Chomp too, which showed up in World 6. This guy would be a little annoying. The sun would show up in 2 levels. Some people think it's only the Desert Sands level. There's one in Castle of Koopa as well, but it comes like halfway through the stage, and there's a way to get around them anyway in that. You don't even have to go through the whole level, but basically. It's one of my favorite secrets.
The sun fights you? Creepy.
It's one of my favorite secrets in the entire game, practically.
That sounds like some weird Soul Eater thing. From
Right?
Oh
you can take it out with a shell, basically. That's the best way to get it when it swings down at you. Missile Bill, like the Bullet Bills were in the first one. Missile Bill was another one that would make a appearance. It was a heat-seeking, they call it Missile because it was a heat-seeking Bullet Bill, basically. So it would flash red and then just like go back in the direction that you're in just until it like you run into it, basically.
Yeah.
Of course, you got the classic ba-bomb from the Mario movie, ba-bomb.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
And then you have Boom Boom, of course. He was the fortress bosses. And then you have like the Koopa kids here, and then it's like, oh, I wonder what Bowser Koopa King looks like. Great, they did a great job updating his look for Mario 3. I'll tell you that. In the first Mario, he looked retarded, but in, in Mario 3, he looked pretty much like a badass, and he has a bitchin' boss theme basically.
Does he look as bad as Barney the dinosaur?
Barney the dinosaur. Which you know what? I'm gonna play that boss theme real quick here. I love the Mario 3 boss theme. So let me get that going here real
we're gonna
quick.
have to play the dinosaur song at the very end.
Oh. All right. So I'm gonna turn the mic off, and here we go. I love that theme so much. It's such a great theme. And it got me all excited too, because like when they do the dun, 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 it's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is that they help you cheat. Whenever you like sometimes what'll happen is these game boards will pop up and you have to do it's a mix and match, so you have to match things and you'll get the items here as they show. And what was cool is this strategy guide basically helps you cheat. So you pick one, and then if you discover the pattern, there you go. So it's a great, I love Nintendo Power. Great way to help out, gamers that don't want to waste their time or just kind of going through like I do basically. So yeah. So here's the data box stuff, so they're going to show you things that go around. So there's the white mushroom house. Odd numbered worlds get the P-winged, even numbered worlds get the anchor, which keeps like the airship in place in case you die on it. It won't like fly off to another part of the map, and then you maybe skipped over some stages. It's like, oh great, I got to go through that now that I don't have a Juten cloud to pass it, or Juteman's cloud to pass it. Oh boy. So here's the cool artwork I was talking about here. So it's just great how they basically show everything here in a mini map. So you got Mario flying away from a fire spitting piranha plant. You got a Goomba going crazy. You got a Koopa or a Koopa Troopa that's pretty much not happy to be in a shell, being kicked around. And they got the little Goombas with the Gimbas and whatnot. So so here we go. This is why I love Nintendo Power. Detailed maps. So here's all the detailed maps. Shows the secrets for each level here for you. They got the little icons above the block that show you what's in each block there. Just so cool. And then they'll have like these little things that you can read where they'll point at certain things on the level and just be like, here's what you do and everything. So, and then they tell you like here's how you get the white mushroom house, which in World 1-4, which I kept dying on, if you want to watch that, because I was so out of it that day. Basically, it's going to say, you got to score 44 or more coins in this level, and then you'll get the white mushroom house. I failed, unfortunately. Then here's Larry Koopa's airship here. So yeah, like I said, this is just great. And then what they do is they'll show, they'll have little cutouts and things like that. So they'll give you like these little like one-up tips and stuff like that here for you. And it'll tell you like, oh, it's going to flee to another part of the screen. They show you what the king of each world is turned into here before, and then what he looks like after. Yeah, like they transform into dogs or spiders and stuff like that.
Ew, not spider.
So yeah,
Ew.
that's grassland there, and see these artwork. This artwork is just awesome. So you go to World 2, so it's the Kopari Desert. And basically see Fire Mario shooting a fireball out of Blurick. You got a fire snake here. You got one of the Gimba blocks here. And there's the Angry Sun. This is my favorite world. I'm a desert guy, of course. Mm-hmm. So they're basically showing like a lot of things there. I love how they have titles for it, where it's like World 2 one, Ruins of the Mushroom Pharaohs, a challenging oasis, use dry bones to get unlimited 1-ups, things like that. Then they have these little cutouts here with the warp whistles, so if you've seen The Wizard, you know all about that. Get the warp if he gets the warp, yeah! It's like, you've never played the game before, bro, and you know this? A new game? It's like, 1 minute's like, new game, and it's like, get the warp, what?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Mario games have warps, so you're used to that, but how the hell did they know what level it was in? That's what I'm talking about there. So, you know, and this is really cool. So on World 2-4 at the beginning, you can fly up and break these bricks here, and then you could basically go above the world, like the normal world here, and gather like a shit ton of coins there, so... Limited carrying capabilities, so you can only hold like 28 items and stuff, so yeah, if you basically max out your inventory on the world map, whatever next item you collect is basically going to erase the end one, so make sure you don't have like a hammer suit or a P-wing at the end of that, because that goes bye-bye forever. As they say in the for us old-timers, the pains of the NES. Oh yeah, and then that's the desert level with the sun there, so there you go. Now what I used to do is I would take at the start of it, I would take Raccoon Mario, I would grab a shell, fly up, and just fly up to the sun and kick it with a shell, and then just not have to worry about it. It made me laugh whenever I did that. It's like, dude, oh, okay. There's also these twisters in this level where if you get snagged in it, it's going to spin you around and it'll spit you out like to a prior part of the level.
Ew.
Sucks, yeah. Then the desert was really fun. The desert was really fun for Mushroom Common, which I thought was a cool name. Yeah. So there's this like special. There's a special here that you have to do. There's like bricks at the end where you have to use a buzzy beetle to bust through it. Then, of course, here's the nice little tip here on the map. If you break the rock northwest of the Desert Palace, you can go over to this ladder-shaped oasis, or it's spelled like a 3 for Super Mario 3. In this mushroom house, you'll find frog suits in every treasure chest, and then you take on the Fire Brothers here, and they will give you the 3rd warp whistle. So there you go.
Nice.
Yep. Special turtle technique, so they're doing this, and then increase your chances of getting a 5-up. This is something I preached, by the way, in my strategy guides. If you run at the end level block and you hit it at a 45-degree angle, you'll get a star guaranteed just about 99% of the time, basically. So remember that, kiddies and kiddos. So here's Morton Koopa's airship. Here's what he looks like. Great artwork again. And then short runway. This is a good tip, because if you need to run back and forth, like if you don't have enough runway to take off as Raccoon Mario, you can run forward and then backwards, and your P meter will still stay relatively where it was at, and you can gain back and forth that way. It can take a little while to get it going, but you'll get the hang of it. It took me a little bit, probably I think about like 5 minutes to get the hang of it, and then I got it, but I was a Nintendo addict there, so... So here's World 3, which is Big Ocean, which is Ocean Side, whatever you want to call it. They call it Island World. So this is the ocean map here. It's one of the stretchiest maps. It has a really cool, fun map secret too. So you got Frog Mario swimming around. You got the electric jellyfish. You got the underwater boss bass. You got the lava spitting flower. You've got the blooper, and then the the green cheep there. So. I love this little drawing of Mario getting thrown in the frog suit with stars coming out of his head. It's like, ooh! Yeah. Then he's trying to get out of the boss bass's mouth there, which is this big-ass fish that can gulp you, even no matter how many power-ups you have on, like, no matter what, if you're like Super, Raccoon, Fire, even Starman, he'll eat you. Like, if you don't run, as Starman, if you don't run into him from behind, and you run right at him, he's going to still gulp you. So he's an asshole.
Yeah, it's like the, in Pokemon Sun and Moon, the second trial is the Pokemon is like this little fish, and then it can turn into a giant fish, and it's like, oh no, it's gonna eat me.
Right, exactly. And then like on the boss bass level, the level sinks up and down basically, so you have to like use a P switch at points to turn like coins into a bridge of bricks to run across, and then when you get to the goal, if you swim across the right side, you have to swim across a piece of the ocean, and then there's only like one little block, and then like a little block island if you want to snag a one up. If you want to risk, that, which I do, I like the challenge, but if you want to risk it, make sure Boss Bass has been hit with a Koopa shell or a fireball. So
Otherwise, munch.
yeah. Oh, and by the way, that's not the only level he shows up in, by the way.
Oh, great.
Now, Boom Boom in this fortress here, he actually gets wings. So if you hit him the first time, he's going to grow wings the second time, and then you have to clip him, stomping him again. So it's pretty annoying. He'll swoop down at you and whatnot. So make sure that if you take on Boom Booms, stay relatively close to him and just stomp the hell out of him when you have the chance. World 3-5 has Frog Mario, basically. Great chance for that. And there's a pipe that basically here go against the flow, and you can go up and get the 3-up brick there. Here's there's like more fortresses in this here. This world has 2 fortresses in it. This one's a flooded one that you have to swim underwater. This is a moving level, which was annoying as hell as well.
Ew.
Here's the other one, basically. So what you have to do in this Boss Bass level is you have to climb up these vines, basically, and keep yourself out of the way, and the platforms actually sink even lower than they did in the first one, so yeah.
Ew.
And this is a pretty cool map, because like the top part of it is basically the ground, and then the bottom part's underwater. You swim to the right, that's the goal. You swim to the left, and basically what's going to happen is that you will basically get you'll get a frog suit for free if you go over here. Now, they do the one-up trips here, like the oscillating Koopa shells that you were taught earlier. Now, here they do the wandering Hammer Brother into a treasure ship. So, worlds 1, 3, 5, and 6, what happens is that basically your number of coins has to be a multiple of 11, and then what you have to do is the timer has to basically stop on an even number. So, for example, you can do like 11 coins, 9310 on your score, and then 104 in the timer. So, what would happen is that one of the Hammer Brothers would turn into a white coin ship. So it's a floating airship where you can gather a ton of coins, and then there's like a hidden one up at the end. And then after that, you go into the cabin and you take on like a Boomerang Brother, basically. So now Wendy Koopa's airship introduces bolts. So basically these bolts, if you jump on them, they'll rotate onto this screw line here and move you over across the screen. Now remember, every airship the screen moves to the right, so you have to make sure that you're jumping across. This is good practice too, because later on you're going to be finding some more airships that have this, especially Ludwig's airship. It is a pain in the ass, but it's not impossible. So speedrunners make it look like chump change. But anyway, yes. Wendy Koopa is the only female underling, and basically she tosses out rings. She's tough, I'll tell you that. She is a very, very tough Koopa kid. Like Morton and Larry were nothing. Wendy's a challenge. So basically she'll toss rings out and then she'll like run across the screen. It's annoying. Onward to the Land of Giants, so there's all that there, and then every time you beat the airship, Princess Toadstool, or Peach as they call her now, will basically give you an item, a letter, and just tell you about things in the future, like, hey, if you see a ghost, don't look away or it'll give chase, and it's an allusion to basically the Boo Diddlies. Mario's Ocean Adventure. This is my my favorite map secret, even more favorite than the Oasis. If you have a hammer which breaks rocks on the map stage, if you break one in this corner here, you'll find a raft, and it'll take you over to these islands that have card games and also have mushroom houses on them. So it's a pretty sweet little ride around the map there.
So is it like little mini games?
Yeah, mini game is where you do like, well, not a card game, but you do a match where basically if you do like a row, like these rows, it's kind of like a slot machine, but you have control over it. Oh. So if you match like a mushroom, you get a 2-up. If you match a fire flower, you get a 3-up. If you match a Starman, you get a 5-up. Nice. So, and then the mushroom houses give you items you can put into levels or use on the map sometimes. So anyway, well, actually, it's just the whistle. But anyway, so you go to World 4, which is the land of the giants. So basically, everything is twice the size of Mario. Huge Koopa Troopas. There's a Sledge Brother. Huge Piranha Plant. Mario's freaked out. There's the map for you too. Land of the Giants.
Plant wants to eat me.
Yep, it's Big Island basically. That's what they call it. If you get the secret ending, so basically, it'll tell you secrets here. Like if you stay against a pipe, the Piranha Plant won't pop up. If you stay in against a bullet bill, the bullet bill cannon won't spit out any bullet bills. There's Mario trying to swim away from underwater Bertha, and I love how it says here. Fortunately. Boss Bass isn't around. That was the name. The underwater one's Bertha. The one that jumps and eats you is Boss Bass. I just remembered that. So basically, this is one that sinks up and down, but Boss Bass isn't around. This is a very World 4-3 is a little tough at the end. If you don't have Raccoon Mario, where you can just simply jump and float over, you need to gain like momentum from a slanting point that's going down to the pit, and these two bricks here bump you. So basically, if you run into them, they can bump you and knock you off potentially. You've actually got to get really good momentum to get over to these. So it's a little bit of a challenge for that. Very clever one too. This is a fortress where if you go down this third pipe here, what'll happen is it'll bring you into like kind of like a little taste of a I'm sorry, that's for later. It's a subterranean little part here that'll snag you a fire flower eventually. But you have to like use hidden blocks to climb out. Sorry, I was thinking of a different thing there. Then here's another underwater world here. Then basically you've got some, the missile bills make their appearance in this map here. World 4-6 is cool because there's doors. There's two doors that are basically in the map, and if you go through them, they'll convert the world from like giant enemies to smaller enemies. So it's a cool little tactic they did. Some of them will have like the giant side. You'll have a one up here, but if you're on the small side, you won't, and vice versa. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now here's what we're talking about. The World 4 second fortress has this tube that you can, or this hidden door that's created by a P switch. So these coins will appear, but you don't actually need to do that. If you know the door is 3 blocks to the left from this opening here, you can just press up and go to it. It'll take you to this hidden pipe world, and what it does is it kind of gives you a little practice for World 7, basically. So there's these bricks that you jump on that'll give you like directional arrows. The ones that have the arrows are just going to basically move in one direction. You can't change them. When they have an exclamation point, if you jump, it'll move to the left, move up, move to the right. So that's how you change them. And you ride on them until they basically vanish, or you get to the place that you need to get to. So it's really good because in World 7, this does come back. I think it's in the first level, so if I recall. Iggy's airship doesn't have any enemies in it, but it does have like a lot of fire-spitting cannons, so it's a little tricky to navigate. Also, it's got some coins in it too, which is kind of a surprise. So Iggy's got the glasses and like the spiral eyes and the fruity LGBT colored haircut, but honestly, there wasn't anything like that going on at the time. I just like to
he just looks like a really weird guy.
There you go. Now, here's another cool thing. If you rescue the kings of each world wearing a suit, you're going to get, instead of them saying, "Oh, thank heavens, I've returned to my my normal form. Thank you so much. Here's a letter from the princess." Something of that nature. If you beat it as Tanuki Mario, the king will go like, "Thank you, kind raccoon. Please tell me your name." If you do Frog Mario, it'll be like, oh my, you've been transformed. Would you like me to change you back with this wand?" Something of that nature. Then like Hammer Mario is like, they'll be like, "Hey you, hey you, why don't you like give me your suit," or something like that. "No dice, what a drag," So that was always my favorite. Yeah. Skyworld is the next one, and basically it's a map that's divided into 2 parts.
Where did you learn to fly?
No, it's terror. Okay, anyway, it's divided into 2 parts. You've got the ground part of it, which has a spiral tower, and when you climb through it, it'll bring you up to the cloud world, which is pretty cool. So on
you
the
get really, really dizzy because the air is thin.
oh yeah, it'll be like the Himalayas. There you go. So I thought that was clever. You know, you go through a spiral tower. You're like, when I came onto that map, I'm like, where the hell's the palace? And then I go through the spiral tower, and I'm like, oh, and that's it's the world that's got the music that goes na 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 like that. Yeah. My voice has gotten deeper, so I'm not good at hitting those high tones anymore, sadly. I used to be able to do it. So on this artwork, it shows P-Wing Mario, which is Raccoon Mario with endless flight. You don't have to run to charge it up, and it has a P on the front of his uniform there. And then you've got these little flying beetles that you can ride, and then it has this spitting fire chomp. So yeah, or flame chomps. So yeah, and those guys float, and they chase after you and spit fire. On the back of the Super Mario 3 cartridge, or box, not cartridge, box, there's a level that you see that has this green grass, and then it has these like flying beetles on it. It's not even in the game. I found out that it was a level that was actually left out of the game, and I think there's some hacks out there that allow you to play it, but I always wondered where that level was with that, so... Alright, so this is an interesting level because basically there's a pipe that you can actually fly up to in the beginning of this level, and then it takes you over here where you can snag 4 1-ups, and then you have to fly to break through here to get out of it and everything. And if you didn't have or if you lost your power-ups or anything, which is highly improbable, you had ocean here to sink and die. World 2, or World 5-2, sorry, has a start where you would come out of this pipe and you could fall all the way down and go into the subterranean cavern if you wanted. I love how the pipe's got this like water that comes out of like a waterfall and forms into this pool here. Or what you can do is if you get on these bouncy blocks, or if you have Raccoon Mario to soften your fall, you could basically use your tail to levitate a little bit, or slow your drop down. You could climb up to this pipe and go through this little ice hill here, and that yields like 3 1-ups there and whatnot. Nice. Love the artwork of taking out those hammer guys with the ice block. Here's Karibo's shoe, stomping the spiny with that artwork. Love it. There's a pipe here at the end where if you actually if you're Tanuki Mario and you hold down and B, you won't turn into a statue, but Tanuki Mario will just turn gray. So it's a really cool little glitch they have, and that's at the end of this part of the map here. So I always love doing that. 3-up fortress. So this is a tough fortress because there were long lava pit jumps. So this one here, for example, reminds me of 8-4 basically from the first Mario. So then here's the spiral tower. So you climb up the tower basically, and then you come out to like these parts of it where you're kind of like on the wall and whatnot. You can get a 1-up here. If you have Raccoon Mario, you can get some bricks here and whatnot. Some of the coins there, and excuse me. So you got that there. Then then you get through a few more, and you climb up a vine to a pipe. And then you get to Cloud World. So, now you're going to be going through Sky Worlds. This level is annoying because there's these donut lifts that if you stand on them for about 3 seconds, they're going to drop. And that's going to be a chasm there. So, yeah. Then I love the little artwork.
Note to self, in this level, donuts are bad.
Right. This is a cool little thing because if you went down this tube, you could get Starmans basically and just blitz through here because there's a Lotaku that drops spinies on you throughout that level.
No.
This lava fortress is a bit challenging too because Potaboos are not only flying up from the lava, but they're flying down from the ceiling, so it's pretty crazy. This is a tough level here because it scrolls in a northeast direction, and these flame chomps come after you, or fire chomps, whatever you want to call them. So you have to jump up these moving platforms while the ground is while the camera is moving up, and of course, if you get stuck underneath it, you're dead. So Roy Koopa, who's my favorite Koopa, I love his shades there. He has a gauntlet part at his airship. So at this part, basically, it has these diagonal cannons that will shoot cannonballs, and you have to basically run through the middle here. Or, if you've got enough momentum here, or if you can even snag it here, you jump up on top of this and you can run up the top, and it's so much easier. But yeah, if you go through here, that's for a challenge, and that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got a bullet build firing from the left to the right and the right to the left at the end. Roy basically can stomp the ground and shake it, so if you're on the ground, you're going to be like stunned for about 2 seconds roughly. Here's that Mario's gray in the face trick I told you about. So basically, there it is in action. I've done it. It's pretty cool.
Mario, do you feel okay? You look funny.
So World 6 is what they call Winter Wonderland, but it's more like Iced Land. That's what they call it in that. Now, here you've got Tanuki Mario avoiding these spike ball throwing creatures and then this brick throwing creature. There's these piranha plants that are basically frozen in these ice cubes. And there's some levels that have frozen coins and these frozen plants that basically, if you shoot fireballs at them, that'll make them active and you can get hurt,
crap.
or you can gather the coins. But it comes in handy later in one of the levels, which I'll show you. So if you run on the ice, you're going to slide a lot. You'll basically get more. You'll get fast results, but it takes a while to like curve back where you have to stop. You're going to keep gliding along for a little bit, so it's pretty slippery. Walking on air, this is kind of a challenging one. It's a scrolling one here, so it's pretty tough. Yeah. This third one has these little ice platforms you have to hop on, a little challenging. The ice fortress in this is actually pretty cool because you take this lift all the way to these spiky little spiky row here, and then you drop down here into a spike pit. But you can leap off here if you can avoid the roto discs, and then just go in the door there. And you can fly up for a 1-up in that area. This level is a little tricky too because of the moving platforms that they have. Yeah. And then you can also basically fly up and you can fly up and snag a pipe at one point too. This World 6-5 is a troll world, and I'll tell you why. So when you go into this tube, you basically end up, you pretty much keep going into a rotating pattern. So if you go over here, you're going to go in this little square area where you need a leaf. Then you go back into the level. So the level is just a consistent rotation left to right. Yeah. Up here at the end, there's this exit where you need to grab a Koopa shell, fly it up here, and then toss the shell into these 2 napper plants to also break the bricks. Because if you try to break the bricks with your tail, the napper plants are going to jump at you. Oh, now, there's ways around it, obviously, especially if you're a speedrunner pro to get through that and all. But that's just typically how that works. Then in World 6-6, the subterranean lake, you have to swim underwater here. And then in these little ponds they have, cheeps are jumping between pond to pond, so it's pretty interesting. Donut lifts galore, that's great. You have to collect 78 coins to get the white mushroom house to appear, so you have to gather every single coin you see here. You got to gather them all. It's not that hard, just to let you know. Like, this is a moving world, too. It's not that hard. I've actually done it several times, but when I get to this point, I'll probably be out of practice. So when you get to the end, you want to make sure that you have Fire Mario so you can melt these coins, and then you'll be able to collect that 78. Now, if you don't have... Now, that's the tricky part, though. There's this donut lift that you have to stand on and let it drop you, and then you have to jump on these 2 music blocks to jump over, to the exit pipe. So that's a little tricky, but it's doable. Music blocks basically bounce you up in the air, if you don't know that. This is a ice cube fortress with thwomps that go left to right, and jumping through this to avoid these guys, I mean, this fortress annoys the hell out of me. I hate this one with a passion. I hate it worse than some of the stuff they have in World 7, I'll be honest, but this one I hate the most. It's so fucking slippery, and these thwomps just piss me off, so. Ew. Plus there's some boot Italy's that hang out too.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Hello, Rusty.
Now you have grass here and stuff, and this is really cool. If you get to the end and you have Raccoon Mario or P-Wing or Tanuki Mario, whatever, if you hit this P, you kind of sit back and it's like, where the hell are the coins? If you fly up here, these bricks, there's 88 bricks up there that turn into 88 coins, so it's pretty cool. So basically, if you have a frog suit or a P-wing, you have two opportunities in this to basically gather a one-up. You can actually use the P-wing to fly over and get on that wall there, and then get a one-up, and you can do that. And I think you can jump over that and exit the stage, from what I'm seeing here. It's been a while. Or you can use the Frog Mario and swim through this little current area to get to a pipe here, and you can get 3 one-ups there. So it's, pick your poison if you want to go through the world, or if you have a Frog Mario to spare. Apparently I've never been able to do this, but apparently it says Mini Mario can make it. Although it takes perfect timing, not everyone can do it. Small Mario can make it up this wall. I want to know how, and I'm going to have to check YouTube and see, because I've never been able to do it personally. World 610 is cool. So this is what I'm talking about. You got these, so basically right here you have these piranha munchers that are frozen blocking a tube that leads to a hammer suit. You have to hit this P switch here and run your ass all the way, these bricks will turn to coins. So you kind of jump your way through, run your ass all the way over here, and these munchers will actually turn into coins. Then you can go down the tube and get your hammer suit. Third fortress. So this is the first world map that has 3 fortresses. So in this one, it's a little bit easier. You got the little stretch ghosts that are on those moving platforms, and then you got a few spike traps, conveyor belts, you name it. But it's really not that tough of a level. You just have to have patience and timing. Now, when you get to the end here, there's 3 boodiddlies, and this is the cool thing. The windows in the background lower and raise, basically, so the entire stage in the background is dropping and lifting. You have to wait until the door lowers down to get to the boom boom, so I thought that was clever. Lemmy's airship is a little bit challenging. It's got some more of those little bolt things that we were talking about from Wendy's. So you got like 2 of them here. This one, you can ignore this one because it's an easy jump over, but this one you kind of have to jump on it and time it over to this, or get enough momentum to jump here. Now you can jump over here to make your way through here easier, but if you don't make it, you have to go through this fire trap. This part is annoying, I'll tell you that. Then Lemmy Koopa is basically a Koopa that has the same fruity hair and then balances on star balls and tosses them. He's pretty tough too. Like, Lemmy and Wendy are probably the toughest out of the Koopa kids in my opinion. So then basically the might of Mario's hammer, so they show it off how you can kill the thwomps, kill the boodiddlies, suck up the fireballs through the shell. We go to Pipe Maze for World 7, or it's Piranha Plant HQ as I call it. So you got these you got those little spitting piranhas, you've got the fire spitting piranhas, the munchers, the napper plants, and there's Hammer Mario like, fuck you, I'm going to throw these at you.
Plantel as another name.
Oh, like a hotel, but that's clever.
Plantel, exactly.
That's pretty clever, I like that. This is the infamous level that can help you get the fastest speed run in Mario 3, where if you do a jump glitch here, Mitch Flower Power actually went on Stephen Colbert, and Colbert was like, let's see if I can cook a Hot Pocket faster than you can build the level, and I got a kick out of that. I mean, that was when Stephen Colbert was cool. Yeah. But Mitch Flower, I felt bad for Mitch because a lot of speedrunners are awkward, and they don't like being in big scenes and stuff, and you could tell Mitch was nervous. With me, I'd be like sitting back like, oh man, this is dope, or whatever you want to say. So from World 4, if you remember that fortress, the pipe little trick with the platforms I told you about, this is where you got to do it big time. So this is a complete vertical level here, by the way. Oh. This level is a little annoying because you have these parts where you go down these tubes, and then if you try to basically go over here to get out of it, it's going to create these music blocks here. So you have to like basically form them to create a bridge. Or if you're clever enough, you can get some momentum and then fly over, whichever you prefer there. Continuous invincibility level where you're going through the green grass and you're going to be running into a lot of spinies from a Latiku. One-ups if you're fast enough, baby. This is my most hated level in the entire game. So it's a moving water world. So basically you have to swim and the screen moves to the right. So you can't fly. So you can fly over this wall to get 2 one-ups, but this is as far as you can go. You can't fly over this. You actually, because they put a roof over it, you have to go into it. The reason why I hate it is when you get around this point, there's basically an electric jellyfish minefield. So you have to, and there's basically 2 big Berthas that are in there too. So you have to avoid them if you don't have Fire Mario, and you have to dodge these suckers too. I hate it so much. It reminds me of the dam level when you're swimming in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's a little bit trickier than this. This isn't as bad, but I still hate the hell out of it. Puzzling pipe maze. So you go through these vertical tubes, and like if you get to certain areas over here, like for example here, you can't jump up. If you come down this tube, you can't jump up here because guess what? You create bricks. But you have to do it in order to get to the end of the level. And sometimes these would turn into coin blocks, so you're like jumping around like, oh boy. Now, there's the giant piranha plant levels that are on the map where if you hit them, they're kind of like, they're the replacement of the Hammer Brothers. You go through a mini stage, and these are a little challenging. You'll have some mini stages where these munchers will like pop up these tubes basically for about a second and a half and stuff. Once you get to the end, they'll basically give you some items at the end and stuff. Like this one is a P-Wing, and then the second one, they troll you and just give you a power-up mushroom. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah,
World 7 Fortress. This is there are no enemies in this fortress, and it's got a clever way to get out. It's another one of those perpetual things where basically this door will lead you back to the beginning, and there's like over 200 coins. So you find the P switch, and then the entire place turns into coins. So you can collect them, or if you can, you have Tanuki Mario, or if you have Raccoon Mario, which you'll need to complete the level, you can fly up and gather them. Now you only have roughly about 2 minutes in this fortress, so you have to make sure that you find the exit.
I always hated timed levels.
So here's the troll part of it. Oh yeah, I know.
It's annoying.
Well, every level in this is timed, but this one is, yeah.
I hate the really bad ones, yeah.
Well, so here's the tough part. So in the ghost part of like where there's like no enemies, you have to get a running start on the checkered floor and fly up to this tube and go up it to basically get to Boom Boom's chamber. So I always thought that was cool because I'm like flying perpetually back and forth. I remember I was like, before I got the strategy, I'm like, where the hell is Boom Boom? So then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to fly up. I haven't done that yet. Hey, there we go. So World 7-6 is another vertical map.
Hey, I'm up here.
Right? World 7-6 is another vertical map with platforming, but just like the first level there. 7-7 is an endless minefield of munchers, and you have to keep yourself Star Mario the whole time, because if you don't, you're going to get hit over and over till you die by the munchers, because there's no way to kill them. At the end here, you have to get a running start and duck and slide as Star Mario right under this low-hanging tube. If you're Small Mario, don't worry about it. If you can't do it, then you're SOL.
Yay.
World 7-8 is loaded with piranha plants and all these tubes. It's got like a ton of coins. World 7-9 is cool because basically what they do is there's these pipes that are connected together, and there's these little niches between them, and you can basically slip between them or jump up them and whatnot to climb through. So it's like a pipe. It's an interconnected pipe maze, basically. So they're all pipes together. Bricks sometimes divide certain areas. You can jump through certain cracks and stuff, so it's pretty cool. So they also have like a split path that you can go. So you're kind of like a rat in the maze, basically. And the cool thing is that Nintendo Power shows you the direction you need to go, which is pretty cool. This fortress is a little tough because you have to jump between pipes with piranha plants coming out of them. There's lava that you have to jump over. This is the tough part. At the end, so there's this platform that raises up, and then there's 2 blocks that are above the pipe. On the right side, there's lava, so there's no platforms on the right side. You have to jump and get between the 2-brick platform and the pipe so you can go down into Boom Boom. So you have to jump in the air, and then you have to motion yourself to move to the left so you can land on the pipe and go down it. But it doesn't end there. You have to go through these 2 rotating disc areas and just like try to slide through if you're Big Mario or something like that. At the end of the second one, you've got a thwomp that'll come down right after you slide under it. It is a pain in the ass. So you're just like, hey, I made the directional jump and I went down. Wait, there's more?
No, there's more. No.
Ludwig's airship is very tough because you can see all these bolts you have to jump on. So there's long bolts that you have to go across while there's flames spitting up at you.
Yeah.
Then there's a part where if you want to get up to the fire flower, you have to hit this bolt that's above you to screw it out a little bit to jump on top of it. Otherwise, if you hit it too hard, it'll fly off the screw line and you won't be able to get up there unless you can fly if you really want a fire flower. After that, the airship divides up into these small little mini airships, and there's 3 bolts on at the end of them. Then at the end, you have to basically jump on this bolt, which is a short one, then a medium one, then a long one to get up to this platform. It's tough. Ludwig's another heavy Koopa kid that can stomp the ground. He's got like white hair that's split in 2 directions, so he kind of looks like Beethoven basically when it's like spread like that. So. All right, or Mozart. I can't remember which one had the hair like that. Oh, I don't remember off the top of my head. Probably Beethoven. But anyway, Bowser's Underworld is next, Castle of Koopa. So basically, after you save the king from being a fire flower that was in a piranha plant in a pot, you'll get a letter that'll be like, da-da-da-da, and basically it's all like, yo, I kidnapped the princess, come back and get him. So it's like from Bowser, King of Koopa. Now, another cool thing that they have on the map is the original Mario Brothers game, which was an arcade game made from with Donkey Kong graphics. So what would happen in the Mario Bros game is you'd have Mario and Luigi on one screen. You'd have these spinies coming out of these tubes. If you used a POW block or you got underneath and hit a brick, it would flip them over, and then you'd kick them and get a coin. Whoever got the most coins, up to 5, would win. So basically what would happen is that if you ever went across let's say for example on the map you die and then you're sucked back to a place on the map and then your little circle appears where you're going to appear when it's your turn. If you basically have somebody go across it, if you have like Luigi go across it, for example, or Mario, whoever's turn it is, and you hit A just as they cross that part on the map, you get sucked in that Mario Brothers game, and basically you want to get in this one it's the cards, that's right, and then you can like snag 1-ups and stuff. And it's pretty much a way to screw your opponent, so.
Oh dear.
So Castle of Koopa is divided into 4 maps. So the first level, it's pretty much it's Bowser's Armored Corps, or basically the army. You could call it like 30 Corps from Operation Market Garden, the British 30th, yeah. Then you have you have the Koopa's Navy. So basically, it's these moving worlds where tanks are coming at you, spitting cannonballs out, spitting flame out, you name it. Koopa's Navy basically is this floating ship with a moving world. Then on the second part, you have these hand traps. So if you cross this bridge area, these hands can snag you into these worlds, but at the end you'll get raccoon leaves. There's one that's a Hammer Brothers, one that's a Poodaboo's, and then one that's like a Flying Cheap stage, but they're short stages. Koopa's Air Force, or Bowser's Air Force, is basically his version of the Doom ship, as they call it in the Mario cartoon, where basically you're moving across the screen at a faster pace, and you have to jump from small airship to small airship, and there's big gaps, so it's tough. This level pissed me off a lot too. It's tough. Or you can just P-wing through it, but real men jump through it. Anyway, then you have like these normal levels after all the hardware and everything. But the thing is that these level 8-2 is easy, 8-1 is a pain in the ass. So basically, as you can see here, there's like a lot of bullet bills that are going to be firing at you and whatnot. But what happens at the end? This is another tricky part, just like at the end of that level in World 4. You have to get momentum to where, if you don't have Raccoon Mario, you need to get momentum, jump on this music block to jump over to this pipe over this big chasm. Then you have to get a slight momentum to jump over another chasm to get to the other pipe to get to the end. It's a pain in the ass.
Ew.
World 8-2 is where the sun appears again.
Oh.
And basically it's a frozen desert world, but this is one of my favorite secrets. In the start of the game, there's this quicksand trap, and normally it's like, oh, I better not go down it. You can sink all the way to the bottom, and it'll take you to some tubes that'll bring you out to the end of the map, and you can avoid the sun. So, it's pretty cool. The fortress in Dark World, or Castle Koopa, is a dual level. So there's these doors spread out all across it to where you have to get to connecting, like, so basically it's the top level is the blue part, so it's like the cooler level. Then the bottom level is where the lava is and everything, the gray blocks. So sometimes you have to go through some doors to get to different parts so you can get to the end on the lava level to get to Boom Boom. Finally, there's another there's a super tank that's just loaded with these moles, with these rocky moles, and then all these cannons just spitting up and down at you, bombs, you name it. Once you get through the super tank, then what happens is you're at the castle of Koopa. You got Mario basically rolling up his sleeve, looking down at Bowser, who of course has such a badass look there, with his little red hair finally. And it's pretty tricky, so they don't show you a map or anything like that, or the final boss battle, which is just a cock tease that basically they do. It's Bowser's Castle is not that tough. It's a little tricky at first because you could end up going the wrong way, but it's really not that tough. The Bowser battle is unique in it, so basically you could either take him out with Hammer Brothers suit, fireballs. It takes several hits, but you can do it. The other way to do it is there's these bricks that he has to keep breaking and stomping on, so basically the last place that you're standing he's going to drop on, and then he's going to bust through. Oh, there we go. So we made it to the end.
Yep.
So again, I love this strategy guide. I love Nintendo Power. I love the artwork in the strategy guide. I love how they show the maps of each level. Just a fantastic piece of work.
Yeah.
So next time we'll be getting back to normal issues. So there's 3 more strategy guides. One of them I'm not really going to discuss because it's like a 4-player guide, and I've never gotten to 4-player games, but I'll go ahead and flip through it with you guys. One of them, which I have a physical copy of, is Ninja Gaiden 2.
Yeah.
So really excited for that because it has the most badass artwork out of all of the guides and Nintendo Power issues. They actually drew comics of the cinematic of most of the cinematic cutscenes, and I can't wait to read through those and show them off. Also, there's a Final Fantasy strategy guide, which I'm looking forward to as well. The game that started it all. I got an early Christmas gift from Pikachu. I ended up getting Endwalker. I found out the reason why I couldn't play it. I didn't register the game on Mog Station, so I missed out on early access. But I started playing today. I've been finally able to gain experience points again with my miner and with my dancer, which has been great. So and a few other of my characters. So I've been super happy about that. 90's the level cap again. I'm just got to get through the post Shadowbringer stuff and we're cool there. So my laptop unfortunately probably needs new memory. Unfortunately, it's still giving me problems, so I'm not able to play half the games that I was going to do, like my Mario 3 strategy guide, so I apologize for that. If Pikachu has any other text-based adventure games that she wants to play, we'll definitely roll through those.
Not really, but I do have some other ones I can still do.
Oh, there you go. And basically, I want Pikachu to play more Mortal Kombat and things, but that was a laptop thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I'm just a little ticked off. So it's not that I'm trying to steal the limelight away from her. It's just inconvenience bullshit going on right now. So yeah, going to Vegas. I'm going to Vegas for the 22nd to the 26th to visit my folks for Christmas. Super excited to do that. Then for New Year's, Notre Dame got into the Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma State. So we're going to go to I'm going to the Fiesta Bowl, and Dad got tickets. I get to stay at a suite for 2 nights, so that's going to be nice there. So I'll be New Year's, and yeah, just got a lot to look forward to. Work's been a lot better. My new position has finally started bearing fruit finally. So I'm like, I was dreading it at first because it was I'll tell you, it was a very, very tough learning curve, and I felt like I made a big mistake, but then I made a huge comeback, and now all of a sudden this month I'm starting off kicking ass, so I'm really happy about that. And I've got my holiday pay coming up, so I'm super excited for that. Well, I tell you, it's great to have energy back today. I've been a slug for a couple days, but it's great to be full of energy again. And you got anything you wanted to add, Pikachu?
No, but we should play the dinosaur song.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, hold on just a second here. Okay, thanks for reminding me.
Whenever you think of the movie, and there is still some cool stuff that they put in the Mario movie, but some of it's really goofy.
Yeah.
But this song that he's gonna play is really great.
And you know,
it's really fun.
Super Mario Brothers, the movie, I know, it's a terrible movie, but it's fun. It's a fun camp movie.
Fun.
You think of it like the Batman, camp series from the 60s with Adam West. It's got so many goofy lines, but if you think about it, like if you look at Adam West, for example, clean-cut millionaire, basically preaches justice in the American way and everything of that nature. Just a very, 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 good role model. Unfortunately, though, it was severely camp.
Yes, very.
But, boy, Julie Newmar is still the best Catwoman. Eartha Kitt, I have major respect for because she could hit the purrs really hard. She was just one of those black gals that had one of those just voices, just one of those really come hither voices, so I give her credit for that. Leah Merriweather, she was only in the movie, but she was an okay looker, but Julie Newmar takes the cake. Michelle Pfeiffer's alright, and Anne Hathaway's Anne Hathaway, but yeah, there you go. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the, Everybody Walk the Dinosaur. So
yes, this is such a fun song.
Here we go. I know, it's a catchy song. I love that. Yeah. So there you go. Basically, that was a really fun song. It was done by the Goombas with George Clinton, basically. So, but I'll tell you, it's my mom loved that song too. My mom loved taking us to those video game movies. Like she really loved Mortal Kombat a lot. Street Fighter, she was all like, it was all right, but she loved Raul Julia. I'll never forget. Jean-Claude Van Damme in that. I loved his little speech to the troops where it's like, well, I'm not going home. I'm going to get in my boat. I'm going to go upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is going to feel it. Now, who wants to go home? And who wants to come with me? And it's like, it really, just the way he drops it is funny because of his accent. But it's great. It's great lines. Great lines there. Exactly. My favorite, probably one of my favorite, aside from my old movies. You want to go for modern movies? My favorite line basically comes from Starship Troopers, where I just love how Rotchek is like, for all you newcomers, I only have one rule: everyone fights, no one quits. If you quit on me, I'll shoot you myself. Do you get me? We get you, sir! Welcome to the Roughnecks. Rotchek's Roughnecks! So I love that.
Movie.
So at work, with a lot of if we ever get new people, I always just drop that first part of the line. I just say, for you new people, I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits. And I leave it at that, because the rest of it obviously is HR inappropriate. Well, this is really fun, so we're going to call it a night here. Just one more day of work, and then I've got a 3-day weekend, and we'll see what it leads us to. But hey, glad you could join us. This is Gray Fox 37, and we are signing off.